Oh, hello. I am Jenna, and this is Gin and Tonic. If you are a cocktail drinking nerd like me, hit that subscribe button and join me for a drink. Today, I am going to be making a French 75, and this cocktail is one that I have never tried before, but it's one that my very good friend Beverly orders all the time. And so I had to see what all the fuss was about. So that's what we're gonna make today. The French 75 is named after a World War I field gun, a very popular gun that was used during the war in France, and it was a 75 millimeter field gun. And apparently the saying was at the time that if you drank one of these, it had such a kick that you felt like you had been pelleted with a French 75. So I guess I'll try it and see if that's how I feel. When I was reading about the different variations of the recipe on this, most of them said to use 1.5 ounces of gin and 3 ounces of champagne, but Beverly says to use 2 ounces of gin. So that's what I'm gonna use today. So to get this started, I'm going to pour my gin, my lemon juice, and my simple syrup into my glass. And I am gonna use honey syrup because that's what I happen to have made right now. This is something that I like to make myself because it's pretty easy to do. It's just half and half of whatever your sugar source is with water. You let it simmer and you put it into your glass and it lasts you for about a week. So let me get a jigger. So I'm gonna do 2 ounces of gin. If you wanna use less here, go for it. But like I said, that's what she says to use. So that's what I'm gonna use. And I'm using Plymouth. This is a great gin to mix with. I've made it a lot of different cocktails with it. If you've watched my channel, you've seen me use it on a few different things. It's just light and citrusy and goes really well in cocktails. I'm gonna do equal parts of my honey syrup and my lemon juice. So this is basically a sour recipe on steroids. She said she does, I think, a total of 3/4 between the two, but I don't like to deal with those measurements. So I'm gonna do a 1/2 ounce of each. So I've got a 1/2 ounce of my syrup, and then I've squeezed some fresh lemon juice, 1/2 ounce of that. And then I'm gonna shake it. All right, so then transfer the ingredients into the flute. And then with that extra room, you're gonna put 2 to 3 ounces of champagne or sparkling wine. And I'm not gonna go too far into this, but here's the difference. If you don't know, here's the difference. Champagne comes from Champagne, France. It's that simple. It's all sparkling wine. And then I'm gonna touch really quickly just on safety opening these bottles. So once you have the champagne bottle or the sparkling wine bottle, you wanna make sure you always have your thumb over top of it. You wanna locate the cage, always hold it at an angle away from you and everyone else. And once you've loosened the cage, don't remove your thumb. Simply put your other hand on it, keep the cage on it, and just twist it lightly while also keeping pressure on the bottle, okay? Once that's open, fill your champagne flute to the top with whatever bubbles that you choose. If you pour slow enough, it won't fizz over like I just did. Last step is lemon twist for garnish. And then this is another drink, before I get to the tasting part. This is another drink that originates at the New York bar in Paris. Apparently this was the happening place in the 1920s, which makes a lot of sense because of Prohibition and the lack of stuff happening in America. So they believe that this was created right after World War I, hence the name French 75. but it didn't gain popularity until it was published in the Savoy Cocktail Book, which is of course Harry Craddock in 1930. It also gained a lot of popularity a few years later because it was featured in a lot of movies. It was featured in Casablanca, if any of you are familiar with that. And it was also featured, I did not know this, in a couple different John Wayne movies. And I gotta check my notes for this one because I'm sorry, I'm not a huge John Wayne fan. Larry, please don't be upset with me. So it was featured in A Man Betrayed as well as Jet Pilot. So, kind of cool. All right, so I have cleaned up my garnish. Put that on the edge of my glass. And there you have it, a French 75. That does pack quite a punch. So this is citrusy, refreshing. Right away you pick up the lemon juice, you taste the gin, but it works. It's not too sweet, probably because I only did a half ounce of the honey syrup compared to everything else that I have in here. This is nice. I think I would enjoy this as an alternative to like an Aperol Spritz for a brunch cocktail if I was looking to do something with a little bit more of a punch. But give it a try. Let me know what you think. If you haven't done so already, please hit that subscribe button. If you have any comments that you would like to leave below, please do so. I'd love to hear what your thoughts are if you've tried this, if you haven't. If you like John Wayne and you're mad at me for not being a big John Wayne fan, that's fine too. I hope you enjoyed it, and catch me next time. I put out a video once a week. My name is Jenna, and this is Gin and Tonic. Cheers.